The desert moon of Therion 7 had never known war until the humans arrived. The sky was orange, quiet, and peaceful. Until black ships darkened it like ash falling on fire. Lieutenant Raiden Kane had only come to fix a broken satellite. A simple mission, no weapons, no armor, just him, his ship, and a bag of tools. But when he stepped out into the heat, he didn't find silence. He heard screams. Alien voices, explosions. He ducked behind a cracked boulder, gripping the edge. As plasma bolts shot past him, Therion was neutral. He whispered, "What the hell is going on?" Then he saw her Dot. She stood in the middle of the battlefield, completely calm. Her skin shimmered like polished violet crystal, her long silver hair untouched by dust or fire. She wore a tattered royal sash, clearly once elegant, now burned at the ends. But her face, those lips were full, soft, untouched by the chaos around her. Even in the storm of war, she looked like a dream. Raiden blinked. Was she a queen? A prisoner? A target? He stepped forward before he could stop himself. "You need help?" he shouted. The alien girl tilted her head. Her sharp ears twitched. Then she walked toward him, slow, graceful, like the battle didn't matter. A blast struck near them. She didn't flinch. Raiden ran to her, grabbed her arm, and pulled her behind cover. "You're gonna get yourself killed." She didn't resist. She just stared at him, eyes glowing faint blue, and whispered something in a soft alien tongue. "I don't understand you," he said. She suddenly placed her fingers on his lips, soft, cold. Then she spoke in broken English. "Your lips." "Beautiful." Raiden's heart skipped. Thanks?" She leaned closer, eyes locked on his mouth. "You said, 'beautiful lips' to me." "I did? You want taste?" she asked, voice so innocent yet so bold that Raiden forgot where he was. He blinked. "Wait, WHA?" Suddenly her expression changed. Serious, sad. She turned her head. Too late. War begins. Above them, shadows filled the sky. More alien warships, but not human. Not hers. A third race, uglier, mechanical, ruthless, landed their claws into the sand like monsters digging graves. Massive steel creatures controlled by someone else. Someone no one had expected to join the fight. The unexpected war had just become something much worse. Raiden grabbed her hand. "We've got to move." She didn't argue. She moved with him. Behind them, the sky turned red. Ahead of them, a path opened through the rocks, but the girl stopped him. "Wait," Raiden paused. "What now?" From her belt, she pulled out a small glowing cube and handed it to him. "You keep her now." "What is it?" "Code. To end them." "And who?" She looked up toward the red sky. "Those who want both our blood." Then Raiden realized she wasn't just some random alien girl. She was the key to something much bigger. And now, he was part of it. Whether he liked it or not, but one question burned in his mind. What exactly did she mean by, "You want taste"? And why did her lips still haunt his thoughts, when the whole galaxy might be on fire? He tightened his grip on the cube. Whatever this was, he had no choice. The war wasn't waiting. Neither was she. And somehow, in the middle of this madness, Raiden was falling for a girl who may not even be from this universe. Raiden's boots slammed into the sand as he and the alien girl ran through narrow rock canyons. Behind them, the mechanical invaders chased with heavy claws and red sensors blinking like evil eyes. Dust and heat stuck to his skin, but her hand stayed cool in his grip. She moved fast, even barefoot, like the ground listened to her steps. He didn't even know her name. "You okay?" he asked as they reached an abandoned outpost built into the cliff. He kicked open the rusted metal hatch. She nodded once, silent. Inside, the air was cooler. Cracked screens blinked. Old crates were piled against the walls. Raiden dropped the glowing cube on a table. It shimmered with strange alien code he couldn't read. She walked straight to it, touched it gently, and whispered something. He stared at her. "Who are you?" She turned. "I am Leary." He blinked. That's your name?" "Yes." She looked him up and down. "And you are Raiden." She said his name so slowly, like tasting each syllable. "Why are they after you?" He asked. She touched the cube again. "Because this," she said, "can destroy their queen." Raiden leaned in. "Wait, that code. You said I'm the keeper now. Why me? You saved me. You saw me. And I saw you." She stepped closer. Voice softer. "Your heart speaks loud." That made no sense. But somehow he didn't want to argue. Raiden pulled up a holopad and tried scanning her face. The screen showed nothing. No match, no record, no species. "Just unknown life form," he frowned. "You're not in any database. Not even close. You're not just another alien, are you?" She stared at him for a moment, then slowly smiled. "I am last of my line." She pulled her hair aside, revealing a thin, glowing mark on her neck like a symbol etched in starlight. "That's a royal mark," Raiden said, eyes wide. "You're a princess?" Leary tilted her head. "Was." He swallowed hard. "The invaders weren't after her by accident. They were trying to wipe out the last of her bloodline. And now, because he touched her, because he helped her, they'll hunt me too now." She nodded. "Yes." He ran a hand through his hair. "Great. And I didn't even get that kiss." Leary didn't laugh. Instead, she stepped forward. "You still want it?" Raiden looked at her glowing eyes, lips slightly parted, innocent, but confident. He opened his mouth, then shook his head. "This is insane." Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered. Outside, the sound of claws scraping on metal echoed through the canyon. "They found us," he said. Leary grabbed the cube and handed it back to him. "We must run again." "No," Raiden said, grabbing a plasma rifle from the wall. "I'm done running. We make a stand. You'll die. Maybe, but at least you'll live. Go, I'll cover you." Leary stared at him. Then she stepped forward, fast, pressed her lips to his soft, quick, like a spark lighting in a dark room. Raiden froze. Then she whispered, "Now I go." She sprinted toward the exit. Raiden blinked, heart pounding. Outside, red eyes blinked through the dust. The first mechanical soldier climbed into the hatch. Raiden aimed his weapon, breathing hard. One thought burned in his mind as he fired. Her lips weren't just beautiful. They tasted like stars. The plasma blast hit the first enemy straight in the chest, melting its armor into burning slag. Raiden didn't stop. He kept firing as more of them crawled through the hatch, their spider-like limbs clanking against the walls. He was outnumbered, but his anger burned hotter than fear. Outside, Leary moved like wind across the sand. Her silver hair flowed behind her as she ran through narrow rocks and strange roots. But even as she escaped, her heart pulled back toward Raiden. She didn't want to leave him, not after the kiss. Not after he chose to fight. She stopped near a dead communication tower and pressed her hands on the ground. Blue light pulsed beneath. Her palms and alien symbols appeared across the sand. She spoke in her language, ancient, forgotten and called the Hidden Ones. Her people were gone. But not all their machines. The ground trembled, metal cracked. A buried pod opened beside her with a soft hiss. From it rose a sleek silver drone, shaped like a hawk, wings sharp like blades. She climbed on its back and whispered, "Take me to him." The drone shot up into the red sky. Meanwhile, inside the old outpost, Raiden had run out of ammo. He grabbed a metal pipe and swung it into the face of the closest mech. Sparks flew. His arms screamed in pain, but he didn't stop. They surrounded him. He stood, blood on his lip, breathing hard. The biggest one stepped forward. It raised a cannon arm. Raiden smirked. "Do it. Ugly." But before the shot fired, the ceiling exploded. A silver flash dropped from the sky. Leary's drone. She landed with glowing eyes. raised her hands and let out a pulse of energy that turned everything blue. The machines froze mid-attack. There. Red lights flickered. Then all of them collapsed. Raiden fell to one knee. "You came back." Leary rushed to him and caught his shoulder. "You still alive?" He looked up at her, dizzy. "That's what matters to you." She nodded, then leaned closer, touching his forehead. "You kissed death and lived." Raiden chuckled weakly. "Guess I'm lucky." "No," she whispered. "You are the one my ancestors spoke of." He blinked. "What?" She helped him stand. "Come, the sky will fall soon." They left the broken outpost and rode the drone deep into the hidden lands of Therion 7. The planet changed around them. Tall crystals grew from the ground. Glowing trees swayed without wind, and the air was filled with soft humming, like music. From stars, Raiden had never seen this side of the world. Leary sat behind him on the drone, her arms around his waist. "You feel it?" "What?" "The land accepts you." He looked around. "So why did your people hide this?" "Because outsiders destroyed everything they touched," she said. "But you touched me with kindness." Raiden cleared his throat. "And my lips?" She smiled behind him, also kind. The drone landed near a lake of glowing water. Leary stepped off and guided him to a giant stone gate covered in symbols. She placed his hand on it. The gate glowed and opened. Inside was a room filled with light and energy. At the center, a pedestal. She handed him the cube again. "Place it." Raiden walked forward, heart pounding, and set the cube down. The entire room lit up like a second sun. Leary stepped beside him. "Now they will come for you, the High Ones." He looked at her. "More enemies?" "No, worse. The ones who made the war happen." Raiden sighed. "And I just wanted to fix a satellite." Leary looked up at him, serious. "You fixed my fate instead." He stared at her, realizing something dangerous was happening, not just to her planet, but to himself. Something had changed, and that one kiss might have started a war. Or saved a world. The sky over Therion 7 darkened again. But this time, not with warships. It was the arrival of the High Ones. Raiden stood near the glowing pedestal, the cube still pulsing with strange blue energy. His body felt warm, like his blood had turned into light. Leary stood close beside him, her eyes locked on the sky above the crystal trees. "You feel that?" she asked softly. He nodded. "Like thunder inside my bones." "They are watching." Now. From above, a giant sphere of silver metal slowly lowered itself into the air, humming gently, surrounded by floating symbols. It had no engines, no visible doors. Just a presence so heavy that Raiden felt like falling to his knees. "That's them?" He whispered. "Yes," Leary said. "The High Ones. Long ago they gave my people life. Now they take it when we disobey." The cube on the pedestal changed color from blue to gold. A beam of light shot up into the air, connecting with the hovering sphere. Raiden shielded his eyes. Then a voice echoed, not from the drone, not from Leary, but from inside his mind. "You are the human who touched the forbidden line." Raiden's heartbeat raced. "Are you talking to me?" "You kissed the keeper of the seed. You opened the line of fate." Raiden looked at Leary. She said nothing, just lowered her head. He shouted, "What does that mean?" The voice continued. "The last princess carries the seed of rebirth. By taking her lips, you have taken her path. Now the choice is yours. Will you protect her, or become the blade that ends her?" Raiden froze. Leary finally spoke. "They want to test you. They always test." He looked at her, stunned. "Test me for what?" Leary stepped forward, eyes glowing brighter. "For loyalty. For strength. For love." Then the light turned red. The floating sphere trembled. The cube cracked. Raiden shouted, "Is that normal?" "No," she said. "They've rejected the choice. Now they send the trial beast. What is a trial beast? The lake beside them suddenly exploded upward. Water and light flew into the sky, and from it rose a creature made of shadows and metal, larger than a tank, with glowing mouths all over its body. It landed on the ground with a rumbling thud that shook the trees. Raiden stumbled back. I don't have a weapon. Leary looked at him calmly. You don't need one. Excuse me? She took his hand and placed it on her heart. You have me. Trust. The beast roared and charged. Raiden did what no soldier should do. He closed his eyes. He didn't understand her words, or what power he had. But he trusted her. The moment the beast lunged, a blast of white energy erupted from both their bodies, surrounding them in a glowing dome. The trial beast hit it and bounced off, screaming in pain. Leary fell to her knees. It worked. Raiden held her. What was that? She smiled weakly. That was Love's shield. He blinked. You made that up. Maybe, she whispered, but it saved us. The beast crawled away, wounded, defeated. The light from the sphere dimmed. Then the voice returned. You pass. For now. The sphere began to rise again, disappearing into the clouds. Raiden sat down beside Leary, heart pounding. Okay. So now what? Leary looked at him, tired but smiling. Now, the real danger comes. He laughed once, bitter. Of course it does. But even through the fear and pain, part of him couldn't stop thinking. She placed his hand on her heart. She trusted him, and he had felt it too. Something was growing between them, something that even the high ones couldn't. Control. Raiden sat by the glowing lake, his chest rising and falling with heavy breaths. His hands were still warm from the energy that saved their lives. Beside him, Leary leaned against a crystal tree, eyes closed, body weak from what she had given. He looked at her. Even when exhausted, she was beautiful, her lips slightly parted, her silver hair sticking to her face. She looked like someone pulled out of a dream and dropped into war. Are you okay? He asked. She opened one eye slowly. Tired. He moved closer. You saved both of us. She shook her head. We saved each other. Raiden gave her a soft smile. What happens now? You said the real danger is coming. Leary sat up straight, her face more serious. When the High Ones choose someone, others become jealous. There are factions. Not all follow the same rule. Factions? He asked. You mean other aliens? She nodded. There is one. She hates me. She believes I stole something that belonged to her bloodline. Raiden frowned. Who is she? Leary looked into the lake's glowing surface. Her name is Zayra. She once called me sister. Raiden blinked. Wait, she's your actual sister? Half-sister, Leary said quietly. We share the same father, but not the same heart. The air suddenly grew colder. The lake's glow dimmed. A whisper passed through the trees like wind holding a grudge. She's already watching us, Leary said. Raiden stood up, fists clenched. Let her come. I'm not leaving you. Leary looked at him surprised. You would fight her for me? Of course, he said. I've already survived mechanical monsters and something called a trial beast. What's next? A jealous space princess? Leary smiled, but her eyes stayed sad. She doesn't fight fair. They turned as the lake rippled, and a tall figure slowly walked out of the water. She was elegant, wearing black armor that shimmered like oil. Her face was sharper than Leary's, her eyes gold instead of blue, but her lips just as full, just as beautiful. She looked at Raiden first. So, she said, voice rich and cold, this is the human you kissed. Raiden's eyebrows rose. News travels fast. Zayra stepped forward, her wet hair curling at her shoulders. Did she tell you what that kiss means? She said I'm now the keeper of the cube. Zayra laughed, cruel and mocking. The cube is nothing. The kiss is everything. Raiden glanced at Leary. What's she talking about? Leary didn't answer. Zahra pointed at Raiden. That kiss marked you. You're hers now. In body, in blood, in future. Raiden's heart stopped. What? Leary finally spoke. She's right. Raiden turned to her. You didn't tell me. That. Leary looked down. If I had, would you have stayed? Raiden was silent. The truth shook him. Zahra stepped between them. Give him to me. Break the bond. Or I'll take him and kill him when I'm done. Leary raised her hand, weak but steady. He chose me, Zahra snarled. Then let him fight for you. A sword formed in her hand, long black, burning. At the edge, she threw another to Raiden. He caught it, staring at the weapon like it had bitten him. I'm not a sword fighter, Zahra smiled cruelly. Then you'll die fast. Leary tried to step between them, but Raiden stopped her. No, I'll fight. He turned to Zahra, holding the sword awkwardly. Just try not to stab my face. It's the only thing I like. Zahra charged. Raiden blocked the first strike. Barely, the fight was wild. Untrained strength versus graceful fury. Sparks flew as steel met steel. And then his blade cut her cheek. Zahra stopped, touched the blood, and smiled. Oh, now it begins, she whispered. Her eyes turned red. The real battle had just started. Raiden's chest heaved as he stumbled back, sword trembling in his hand. Zahra's eyes now glowed deep red, and her entire body pulsed with dark energy. She no longer moved like a warrior, she moved like a storm. Leary tried to run forward, but her legs gave out. Stop, you'll kill him, Zahra smiled without warmth. That's the idea. She dashed forward, so fast Raiden barely saw her. He raised his sword, but her blade knocked it out of his hand and sent him flying into a crystal tree. The tree cracked, so did something in his shoulder. Raiden groaned. He couldn't move his arm. The sword was out of reach. Zahra walked toward him slowly. Weak, unworthy. How could she choose you? Raiden coughed. Maybe because I don't want to rule her. Just hold her hand. Zahra's lips twisted. Disgusting. She raised her blade, but then Leary shouted something in her ancient tongue. The cube near the pedestal glowed again. Light exploded outward, knocking Zahra back. Raiden blinked. What did you do? Leary crawled forward, using all her strength. I called the bond, Zahra snarled. You wouldn't dare. I would, Leary whispered. Suddenly, both Raiden and Leary's bodies lit up with glowing mark spirals of gold and blue wrapping around their skin. The ground shook beneath them. The bond of stars had been activated. Zahra backed away in fear. No, that bond was forbidden. If he completes it, he will never be human again. Raiden groaned, half laughing. That would have been good to know before the kiss. Leary touched his face. You don't have to finish it. If you walk away, now the bond will break. You'll be free. Raiden stared at her. Around them, the sky turned silver. Time itself seemed to pause, and all he could think about was her lips, her bravery, her loyalty, her heart. I'm not walking away, he said. Not from you. He took her hand. The marks glowed brighter. The light rose higher. Zahra screamed. You fool! You've sealed your fate. She tried to attack again, but her blade shattered midair. The cube cracked open and released a wave of pure energy that blew her across the lake. She disappeared into the trees. The light faded. Raiden collapsed into Leary's arms. Exhausted, their marks still glowed faintly, now permanent. The bond was complete. Leary held him close. You didn't have to do that. Raiden smirked weakly. I wanted to. She leaned her head against his. Now, you are more than human. What am I? He asked. She kissed his forehead gently. Mine. And deep in the sky above, the High Ones watched and whispered, the Chosen has accepted his path. The final door will now open. Raiden didn't hear them. He was too busy staring into Leary's beautiful eyes, still thinking how it all started with 4 small words. Beautiful. Lips, I said. Raiden woke to a sky he didn't recognize. It shimmered like a living painting, colors shifting between violet, gold, and soft green. The trees around him glowed with quiet music, and the ground itself pulsed beneath his feet. His body felt lighter, stronger, different. He sat up slowly, confused. Lyri was sitting beside him, her legs crossed, hands resting on her knees. She was glowing softly, her silver hair shining like a moonlit river. Her eyes opened when he moved. "You're awake," she said, smiling. Raiden looked at his arms. The glowing marks were still there, faint now, but alive. "What happened to me?" She gently touched his chest. "You finished the bond. You're no longer fully human." He blinked. "So what am I now?" She tilted her head thoughtfully. "Part light, part flame, and part mine." Raiden laughed softly, rubbing the back of his neck. "Well, could have been worse." Then he remembered. "Zera, is she gone?" Lyri nodded. "She won't return, not now. The bond cast her out. You're under the law of unity now." Raiden stood up, stretching. "So, it's over?" Lyri looked at the sky. "Not yet." He turned to follow her gaze. In the middle of the crystal forest, a giant structure had appeared overnight. A black gate with gold edges stood tall, silent, untouched by wind or sound. Its surface shimmered with symbols that shifted like smoke. Raiden whispered, "What is that?" "The final door," Lyri replied. "The High Ones left it for the chosen. Only a bonded pair may enter." "What's inside?" "No one knows," she said, "but it's where all paths end." Raiden took a deep breath. "You want to go?" She looked at him with calm, loving eyes. "Only if you walk with me." He didn't hesitate. They moved together across the glowing grass. As they reached the gate, it opened silently, revealing a tunnel of stars like space itself had folded inward. Raiden grinned nervously. "You sure this won't kill us?" "Not kill," she said softly. "Transform." They stepped through. For a moment, there was nothing. No sound. No weight. No fear. Then came light. Memories from both of them danced across the walls. Raiden's lonely childhood, his first taste of freedom in space, the moment he saw Lyri for the first time. And Lyri's royal life, her betrayal, her escape, and her deep longing to be seen, not as a weapon, but as someone worth saving. The final door didn't lead to death. It led to truth. At the end of the path, a second pedestal rose. On it sat a crown not made of gold or jewels, but woven from light, time, and pure will. Lyri stepped forward, tears in her eyes. "This was meant for my line, but now it belongs to us." Raiden walked beside her. "I didn't come here to wear a crown." She looked up at him. "You already wear something greater." "What?" "My trust." He smiled. "That's heavier than armor." She picked up the crown and held it over his head. "Then let it rest on someone strong, enough to carry love." She placed it on him. The stars pulsed. The tunnel vanished. They stood again on Therion 7. But everything had changed. The war was gone. The sky was blue again. The machines had vanished. And all across the planet, life began to grow. Raiden turned to her. "We did it." She stepped close, placing her hand on his heart. "You saved me with your lips, but you stayed with your soul." He leaned in, voice low. "Can I taste again?" She didn't answer with words. Her kiss said everything, and from that moment on, the stars no longer feared the dark, because love, strange, wild, and beautiful, have rewritten fate.